Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Wallet Wisdom, a podcast presented by Lake Michigan Credit Union. If you're new to the podcast or have been listening for a while now, Wallet Wisdom is designed around breaking down the ins and outs of financial aspects, as well as to help bring answers to some of banking's more confusing or complex questions. I'm one of your hosts, Brett. With me on mic, we've got Aldina!
Hi.
Hey.
So good to be back.
Yes, it's a brand new year, 2024. Yes. We're off to a great start. Yes. I'm so excited.
Me too.
Man.
Very much so.
Yeah. Well, Aldina, we have, as always, a great show. Mm-hmm. We, no different than any other year, Wallet Wisdom, we're kicking things right off with getting into our communities and learning how our community partners are doing incredible things in our communities.
It's been a busy 2024 already.
It sure has. It definitely, and it's not going to get any slower yet. You know,
No.
We've got so many exciting things for you, for listeners already for coming up in this year.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll want to be staying tuned. And if you're not already, subscribe, let people know about the show. And we're super excited to be back. So
Definitely.
But joining us today, we are so excited to welcome Karmen Johnson to the studio. Welcome. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Awesome. So, you know, Karmen, you have a company that is doing some incredible things in the community, especially around financial wellness and understanding and education.
Yes.
And we'd love to hear a little bit more about the Marvelous Lifestyle Outreach that you have as your company.
Yes. Marvelous Lifestyles Outreach was actually founded on the principle of financial literacy and the importance of financial literacy, not just for adults, but for kids as well.
Yeah.
Using the approach of like a family unit where it's not just one-sided, where you can get all views and starting them young. Because as we know, we learned math and English at a young age. Why not learn personal finance as well? To grow up into that atmosphere where things is accessible versus trying to figure it out and trying to learn on the experience or on the fly, just having that ability and to give the youth access as well as their families, because we didn't have that access growing up.
Absolutely.
So
That's
you'll
so
be
true.
amazed at how many things that we run across that's new information for even the adults.
Yeah. Well, and it's always amazing too, I think, for especially the parents out there, when your kids come home and they start talking about finances, you start to pay attention quick to be like, I should know that.
Exactly. Like, what did you just say?
Right?
Where'd you learn that at today?
What does APY stand for? No, I'm just kidding.
Impressed at the same time, confused.
Grab the phone, Google it, and then respond.
Exactly. So now I know, Karmen, you have some previous experience in the financial industry as well, primarily in the banking industry.
That's correct.
So having had those experiences and then to have built what you have today,
right?
You know, what are some things that you kind of felt like you were able to take from your experiences and knowledges in that space working in a bank, and then really kind of apply that to the broader outreach of, you know, reaching our kids and our community?
One of the biggest things I learned was the difference between someone going out into the world, going right into a bank versus a credit union.
Sure.
Something as basic as that. Like, I remember my mom telling me, just stick with our credit union. Don't worry about it. And I didn't understand that. I was just like, okay, whatever you're talking about. Because in our head as kids, we're slightly rebellious.
Sure.
So we're like, okay, we want to see what's on the other side. But I didn't understand. And the bank and the credit unions were two different things. And the guidelines are a little different when it came to the fees and the capabilities. So once I got my first job and most of my check went back to paying fees because I didn't understand the aspect of, hey, once you are overdrawn, then they charge a daily fee and extra fee. And it was just things that added up that I was just like, if I just understood just the difference and the approach to it, not saying that banks aren't good because they have value as well, but as a youth going straight into a bank, there's a lot of things that you just won't understand. So just explaining to them the difference and kind of the pros and the cons to it, it's like, oh, okay, now I know what's most useful at this point in my life.
And I think you hit it perfectly of like, you don't know what you don't know.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And it really, once you start to recognize and start realizing that, and so, you know, really for what you're already doing in reaching our kids in a younger age, establishing those kind of foundations early so that when they do get to that point, they can make better, more sound decisions about their finances.
Exactly.
I love that. Well, you know, this episode for listeners too, I mean, we really want to tackle some of those 5 kind of tips or tricks or ideas to kind of start thinking about your financial goal setting for the year. And we thought no better than to have you on the show, Karmen, because, I think we all could learn some great principles on how we can start thinking about budgeting.
Right.
And those goals. What do we want to accomplish in this year? Let 2024, for all you listening, let 2024 be your year, right?
Yes.
Let it be your year for so many things, but let it be your year for your wallet as well, and help to, grow those things. So we're excited to just kind of jump into those.
Yeah. I'm a budgeting nerd, so I cannot wait to hear what you have to say about this, and really just getting everyone excited.
Right.
We all like to set goals for the new year, and what a better way to start off than with the expert herself.
That's right.
So let's hear it. What do you have to share with us?
Yeah.
So what I've been thinking about going into 2024, because every year we all start off really strong with our financial goals, our health goals. Everyone's in the gym. The gym's overcrowded.
Yeah,
so
and
it's
smelly.
like,
a little bit.
And it's just like you can't get a spot. So finances is the same. Everyone starts off so motivated and everyone has these things going on, but no one thinks in longevity. Like, how can I really make these goals last for the year? Because sometimes we don't create SMART goals. We're just throwing stuff out there, knowing in reality that we're going to fall short. So making your goals more SMART. So again, measurable, attainable, all the basic things that you would really be able to accomplish, but you just need a little push and organization, right? And we all know in the last couple years, life is completely different in 2024 than it was in 2019 due to COVID.
What are you talking about?
Right? So a big change in thought process for me is, hey, I can't go into 2024 like I went into 2020 because our life in 2019 was completely different than our lifestyles now, whether it was a change in income, change in jobs, adjustments for families, because it got to the point where kids had to go home for a week or two if they had COVID. So how many people had to call off from work? And is that feasible? Like, how much time do you really get? Because it's still a business and they still have to operate. So then it becomes that type of topic where it's like, where's the balance?
Well, and I think I don't want to speak for everyone, but I know for me especially, here we are, let's say, it was December 2019. We're coming into 2020. No real indication of what's to come. And I think for so many of us, it was a bit of a blindsided experience.
It was.
But it also was an eye-opening experience for so many things. But one in particular for me was the recognition that I didn't have enough of an emergency fund budgeted, that I didn't have enough thought about what about the what if future. And it's easy because thankfully we haven't had very many major issues like a pandemic that we went through. So that really kind of opened my eyes to realize I need to think about that,
Very true.
It's huge.
Yes. So that is one of the biggest things. As soon as you said that, my first thing for 2024 is for people to reevaluate their emergency fund. If it doesn't exist anymore because you wiped it out, or, hey, it's low and not enough, this is the time to reevaluate that and be honest with yourself. Make sure you have that 3 to 6 month expenses saved up. Yes, you might not save it all up this year, but guess what? Life continues no matter what.
I mean, even just figuring out, what do you consider an emergency fund?
Exactly.
Like, what is an emergency for you?
That's very true.
It could be a car breaking down, or it could be, I dropped my phone and the screen is cracked. You know what I mean?
Things we cannot go without in Michigan.
That's right.
Just even reevaluating, what is an emergency fund in for you in your life now?
Exactly. So making sure everyone evaluates that and talks about that at the beginning of the year. Don't shy away from finances. It's gonna come regardless.
It is. It is. You can't
You can
avoid
do it
it.
now, or you can do it tomorrow.
The unexpected is going to happen regardless.
Exactly. That's one thing we've learned as adults is that every day I tell my students, I'm like, I can tell you're having a bad day, but I promise you tomorrow will be better, because that's how life works. And we've learned that. So yes, emergency fund for sure would be number one on my to-do list as a top 5 financial goal. Number 2 would be debt reduction. Again, along with those emergency funds and unexpected things happen, some people have built up debt. So in that process, how can you evaluate the debt that you currently have? And if you're not experienced in your finances, I recommend talking to a financial advisor, a banker, someone that you know or that's close to you. We give free consultations as well. But there's so many organizations out there to help you organize what you have and maybe even consolidate. Just because if it's credit cards, for sure, because at this rate, they're 25% or higher.
Which is crazy to think.
So I'm just like, that's going to be really hard to maintain, especially if we go into another item, which is budgeting for the year or financial planning. That's another top thing that you need to consider. And past a certain age, even my younger youth, high school students, I tell them, yes, your budget may be smaller than mine, but every year you're going to add on an expense. So this is something you need to evaluate, if not quarterly, monthly, because that's how I have mine set up, and I can go into details later. But
and that's interesting, though. I think that's really an interesting perspective, because I think for me at least, and I don't know about you listeners, but it's easy to kind of think about a 1-year goal when you're talking about goal setting. But, you know, you touched on it a little earlier too, in talking about, and I want to get on, ask you more about that as we hear more of the tips, but that longevity and how do you keep that momentum? And I think you're onto a really interesting idea there of like, even if you set quarterly goals, the momentum feels more achievable. If you can create smaller bite-sized goals that add up over time, but you still can feel the excitement of, I did it.
Yes.
I
love you need that encouragement.
That you also mentioned, the steps to take when it comes to talking about that credit card debt, how to even start tackling it. So you mentioning, you know, approach your, you know, local banker or, you know, even approaching you about it for some tips and tricks, because those conversations can be embarrassing to some, you know, just to even get that reality check that this is happening for them and how can you step out of that cycle, you know? So I love that you mentioned that. It's those bite sizes, and you talked about SMART goals. For the listeners, if you don't know what SMART goals, what exactly it stands for, just type it in any search engine. It will tell you exactly the action steps.
That's right. There's no dumb goals, but there are SMART goals.
Exactly. It will walk you through the whole step by step, but it is really just that reality of that it needs to be tackled in one way or another, and start small.
Karmen, I was going to say, you know, we're entering into, I think, a new generation of a younger, you know, group of people that are coming up saying, I want to talk about my finances with people. I want to talk about my salary. I want to talk about what I'm getting paid. I want to be more transparent.
That's very true.
But there is also a generation, and I'm still in that a little bit of growing up of, you don't talk about your finances. That's private. You don't talk about it. You don't share how much you're being paid. You don't share about this. But today's environment financially must require, like you said, some help, some support, some willingness to say, and some humility, right? Just to be able to say,
that's very true.
I'm struggling. And then you'd be shocked if you do raise your hand and say, I'm really kind of struggling with some of my bills from, you know, week to week. And we make it work, but it's been tight. You might find out from your friend, we're in the same boat. Or we were in that same boat 3 months ago, but we started a budget and this is what we did. And look at where we're at. So getting out and talking about these things, there's nothing to be embarrassed about. The only thing that, you know, becomes embarrassing is that you didn't ask sooner. You know, you didn't talk about it sooner. You know, that's the real truth.
Because they'd be like, why didn't you come to me? Guess what? You could have got it waived for 3 months. You're like, what?
It's life changing.
It is.
It is.
Very true.
No, that's awesome.
Yes. So far we have 3.
Yes.
Another one that I would recommend is saving for retirement. What does that look like? A lot of my youth are like, what? A company can match you? Like, what exactly is that? So just understanding that there should be some type of retirement plan in place, whether it's your 401k, the IRA. Find out what your employer offers. And then as if you're self-employed, find out what your bank or credit union resources are. Because a lot of them have connections to figuring out how to help you get set up with a 401k.
That's awesome.
So making sure you ask the questions, or if not, Google.
That's right. That's exactly right. Well, and we'll go one step further because of LMCU. But it was just I'll just name drop that and we've chatted on this on so many different episodes, and for some listeners who've been listening for a while, they'll be like, yeah, you always talk about this. But for anyone tuning in new, LMCU is committed to helping anyone that walks through that door.
Right.
If you have a financial question and you're banking somewhere else, that's fine. Mm-hmm. If you're not finding your answers when you walk into your financial institution, or you're not getting the time of day, let's just have a conversation at LMCU.
It's time to change.
Exactly. And even if you're not ready for that change yet, and you just want to simply have that conversation about budget setting, you may find that you'll have a very different experience with that, because we want to be that community partner as well as a hub for people to get their questions answered when it comes to finances.
Yeah, shop your options.
That's right.
That's very true.
You can't be stuck in a world of so many resources and available help that's out there for us. You can't be stuck. So
and build your relationship with LMCU, because I know my relationship with LMCU is great from a customer standpoint, as well as a business standpoint. So, and I've been open up to options I didn't even know existed, and I was in the banking world.
That. See, we love her. We need to reinvite her.
And
that's right.
And they tell me happy birthday, and they're like, happy birthday. And then I had a happy birthday memo in my bank account. I'm like, you guys can do this?
It's so fun.
And it's just the relationship behind it and the I care. What was your question? Even if I don't have the answer, they'll try to email someone and connect the dots for me.
Yes.
So having that relationship will help you with your finances for sure.
Well, because I think at the core, there is still a truth that finances and personal finances are... They are personal. Yeah. I mean, by nature, we call them that. Yep. And because they're personal, they mean a lot more to me. And I think for the ability to sit down with somebody like LMCU who wants to build a relationship, builds the trust that then makes me feel comfortable to be more open and wanting to share and being able to have that partnership. Exactly. So it's all about that relational building and honestly, with what you're doing as well with your company, it's that same thing. Yep. You're building those relationships and going out into these communities, and really it's a legacy you're building, which is really, really cool. I mean, some of these students are going to learn things that are going to probably change the entire trajectory of their life. Yeah. And I think it's so, so cool that you had that passion, that drive, and that willingness to say, I'm going to do something. I'm going to stand
providing them like a real life experience, and they get to go home and talk about this as almost little grown-ups with their family.
What'd you do today?
We should have brought some of your students into the podcast, and they could have told us all kinds of fun things. Maybe next time, right? We'll bring the podcast to you.
Exactly. I like that.
What other goals do you have for us?
So I was going to say a different one for number 5.
Yeah.
But since we're talking about building relationships.
Wait, are you saying we're going to get a bonus tip?
Yeah.
We're going to have 5 plus a bonus?
Let's do plus a bonus.
I love it.
Yes. So I'm going to change number 5 to build a relationship with your financial advisor, whoever that is, because that's where you connect the dots. Because like you said, your expertise is in media. Yeah. Everyone has an expertise. Yeah. So if we utilize all our resources, we can be great as a community.
That's right.
It's not what you know, it's who you know. Yes. So moving those pieces and making sure I want everyone to go out and build a relationship with someone in the banking industry. That way you're the first to know, or at least in the know, because a lot of times I know when I was working in banking, it was an introduction to something new every 3 months.
Oh, sure.
So I couldn't keep up with telling all my clients, hey, this has changed. But the ones that came in and spoke with me and sat down and actually had that relationship, they knew everything. Oh, yeah. They knew what I knew. Yeah. So go build the relationship.
That's it. That's exactly right.
With someone in that atmosphere. So, or tune in and subscribe to the podcast because you give a lot lot of valuable information as well.
Of that.
Okay.
You can tell she checked us out.
That's right. A lot of wisdom for your wallet, as we joke around with.
I love that.
I like that a lot. Yes. That is awesome.
It's just
I'm going to be telling people that too. I'm like, make sure you subscribe because you have a lot of questions. It's being answered.
That's right. That's
all the time. So
well, I appreciate that.
Yes.
So I'm excited. So there's the 5. And I think even if we just stopped right there, there's, so much that I think for listeners that you can kind of really kind of chew on and think about and what fits for you. I think you said it best too, Aldina, is like, you've got to know what's going to fit for you and what are your emergencies, or what does that look like for everyone?
It's personalized.
It is. It all
Yep.
has to do with certain financial responsibilities that you have to first budget and go down that road. But so it could look very, very differently for others, but that's why it's so important to get that personalization, that relationship building that you have. So
Karmen, I do have tip number 6. Okay, bonus.
Yeah.
But what would you say to someone who, let's just say, says to you, Karmen, I just don't make enough, so it's not even worth me starting a budget, meaning I'm not even going to bother setting 2024 goals?
First thing I would say to them is, we're not going to have that. We're going to look at your finances, and I actually have an income versus expense spreadsheet. I have them actually record for a whole month where they're spending their money, because a lot of times it's not just the income piece. It could be your expenses, where there's a lot of funds that you're utilizing that could be used somewhere else. And then if it comes down to it being the income portion, how can we help advance you in your job placement? Because that does become a thing. As we all know, a lot of people aren't being paid what they need to be paid because of the increase in everything, right?
That's right.
So there's that accountability as well. And that could be a portion that needs to be revisited. Are you in the place that you need to be? And then a lot of people will have like side hustles or things that they do. How can we incorporate that into your daily life, where this is something you can continue to do to help build up that income?
And consistent.
Exactly.
I just love listening to you and the approach that you're taking. You're not just focused on, show me your paycheck. Let's take a look at how we can build this budget for you. But you're also thinking of other components of their life. So you talked about the daycare, how that's a stress factor in some families' lives. And now even hearing you, the career approach too, opening those eyes too, because when you're stuck in that financial rut, you probably are not thinking, what are my options at work? Where can I contribute more so that you can see valuable performance in me and stuff. So I'm impressed. I love this.
Good. I love it too. Because a lot of times we think it's just our problem when other people are having the same problem.
Right.
And it's just like, if we put our minds together, what could we build from here?
Absolutely.
Like, what could happen?
Or we
what
have
suggestions?
faced it at some point in our lives too. So you have that.
So you'll be amazed.
Experience.
Yep.
So with all of these goals, and I kind of mentioned it earlier, but how do we encourage each other to keep the momentum going in that? Obviously, we've already kind of established some smaller bite-sized goals may be the thing that makes that easier. But, I think for me especially, it's easy to lose the momentum after a few weeks, right? You kind of get into the rhythm. You put it right on. It's like the first month you're all in, and then little by little it just kind of, now it's like, but I still want to go out to eat to go there, and I still want to, subscribe to that extra, streaming service or whatever.
I would say the organizing of your goals. So a lot of times we like to just group and chunk everything together, or some things might just be like a nice to have goal, where it's, hey, longevity, I'm trying to get a house, and we have to prioritize. So when you prioritize, the reward at the end is going to be greater. So the feeling of success and measuring that throughout the year is going to feel a lot better. So knowing that, hey, I'm hitting these milestones at the quarter mark, and having what I like to call an accountability partner, which works in fitness too.
It does.
You're going to do better when you're in a group setting. So when you have someone in the know, like your relationship that you're going to build in 2024, they're going to ask you about it. Like, where are you at in this? Just like in fitness, they're going to say, where are you at? Or they're going to see physically that you're improving or not. And it's going to be the same thing with your banker. They're going to be able to see that you're improving or not. And they're going to hold you accountable. So you have to at some point in time loop someone else in to help you with that. That's just, I think it's our human nature of having someone else like know what's going on. And you're like, I can't fail.
It truly works.
I can't fail.
And I can attest to this. I went through this exercise with a friend of mine, and I could sense that there was hesitation in the accountability of things. And, me being the budgeting nerd, I was like all in for it. It became my assignment.
See?
So I basically just, when that first goal was met, it was almost like it was my goal. I felt like the burden lifted off of her. I could tell that she was just feeling motivated now to keep going. And I just like the celebration was there. It wasn't even like a huge financial burden, but it was one credit card less. And
there you go.
So accountability is everything. It can be your neighbor. It can be
Right.
whoever it is.
It
To just
be.
remind you.
Yep. Sometimes I have my kids hold me accountable.
Yes,
Sure.
yes.
And they're like, Mom, remember you said?
Yes.
You've
like,
been buying way
oh,
too
yeah.
many snacks at the
Yeah,
grocery
there you go.
store.
Yes, Brett,
I don't think they're gonna say
your
that, yeah.
accountability partner and to ask you, where's your emergency fund at,
Oh
Brett?
boy, I may have to return a couple video games now.
June, I'm following through with you.
Okay, I need
scared.
it.
He's turning
I'm
red.
scared.
See?
Look
And
how
it makes
quick,
you,
right?
Yeah.
And I would venture to bet that most listeners will have that same visceral reaction
Yes.
of like, wait, no, you can't look at my phone.
Not right now. Let me get it together. But
Right.
hey, in a couple months.
It's no different than anything else. You can't feel like you have to get it perfect before you can ask for help. Because if you're asking for help once you get it perfect, then there's nothing to help.
Right.
You know, that's the whole idea. Is that it's not going to look
Yes.
pretty. It's maybe going to look really messy. But that's where we can, really partner with you and be able to help show ways for you to get through those
Exactly.
things.
I
So,
agree.
I love that.
I'll tell you what, Karmen, there's so much that I am excited for what you're doing in our communities
Thank
and for our
you.
kids. And there's so much more I know that you're doing that we were just really able to touch just a little bit about. But for listeners that are interested, that are in our West Michigan area, how can they connect and at least kind of hear a little bit more or see what you're doing in the
Yeah.
community here with your company?
Please visit Marvelous Lifestyles with an S, outreach.org, or you can feel free to call our office Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at 616-734-6085.
She's a pro. She's got that down. I
Love
love it.
that.
Oh, man. Well, Karmen, we are so excited because you can't take off quite yet. We have a very fun part of the show, at least fun for us, that we like to call Are You Smarter Than the Show's Trivia? And so today you'll be going up against me, and there'll be $50 on the line
wow.
that will go to a nonprofit that LMCU supports. Awesome. And just the way the rules work, so if it just happens to work out that I win,
Okay.
that money gets banked into a pot for the next episode, and then it'll be up for $100 for that nonprofit.
That's pretty cool.
So the rules are super simple. We've got 3 questions that we're going to ask, best out of 3. If it gets to the point where we don't get any of them right, there's always a tiebreaker sudden death that we have. And so we buzz in with our name. So Aldina's going to read the question to us, and then we'll buzz in with our name. Do you need practice? No, I'm just kidding. And then if I buzz in and I get it wrong, you'll have the ability to steal, and vice versa.
Okay.
So yeah.
Are we ready?
Phone a friend? No.
I know, right? We have attempted a phone a friend once or twice, but
In today's episode, that has been eliminated.
that's right.
Fine print.
It's in the fine print. That's exactly right. So, all right. Well, that's the sound for trivia. Well, Aldina, take us away.
We're ready. All right.
You're ready. I'm not sure
I'm so
I'm ready.
ready.
Are you ready?
I'm like sitting here super geeked that I finally get to be in the other side.
That's right.
Not having to answer.
Aldina's had to go up a few times over the past couple of years.
I don't
against
really
us,
consider
so.
myself great at trivia. Let's just say that.
I understand.
All right. We're going to start off with what state has the longest freshwater shoreline?
Karmen, I'm going to say California.
That is incorrect.
Oh, bummer. All right. Fresh water.
Yes. Shoreline.
I guess I got to say Michigan. It just seems like the Great Lakes state.
Yes,
is.
that is correct.
Yeah. Fresh water.
I'm like,
I did not skip that part.
I was going to say, like, let's keep it like in our, home
Area.
where we are,
Yeah.
And you said fresh water. I skipped that part. I just said water.
I'm not going to lie. I hesitated because I'm like, this is a trick question. Because immediately I thought, Michigan. And then I'm like, maybe
It
not.
wouldn't be that obvious, right?
I'm like, maybe not.
That's true.
All right. So
All right.
1-0.
Okay.
Anyone's
Yes.
game still.
All right.
You can tie this up and we
Okay.
can. Absolutely.
All right. Next question. In football, how many points does a touchdown have?
Karmen, 6.
Wow. I'm impressed.
I studied sports marketing.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I work for the
Okay.
football team.
That's right.
I loved this.
And that's a
Great
bit of a
job.
trick because some people just think 7 right away, but
Right.
that's the extra
That's
point.
the extra point, or you can do a 2-point conversion.
That's right.
I see. I'm even learning way more that I need to right now. This is amazing.
Well, for listeners too, I mean, this is the time of the year right now. We're in the NFL playoffs.
Yes.
The Lions are in, and we are, of course, in Michigan going crazy. So
Yes.
please forgive us a little bit. Anyway.
So we have 1-1.
All right, 1-1.
All right.
Here we go.
What is the only food that can never go bad?
Karmen, food,
Yes.
All I think
water.
Yeah.
Nope, that is not the answer.
I'm like, never go bad. Ooh.
I keep thinking like a Twinkie or something like that. That's not my answer. That's not my answer. I'm just talking banter right now.
You might be right.
Brett, what do you think?
That won't go bad.
Yes.
Is it honey?
It is.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That
So-
was good.
What? I'm even shocked over here.
Oh my goodness.
And never go bad?
So
Good to know.
here's the thing.
So stock up on honey.
right?
I carry like 2 bottles at a time.
We
I
love
was
honey
like,
in our household too.
love it.
Right?
Oh, wow.
So my wife is big into like trying some of these TikTok like food things and
Yes.
food hacks, and so one of the most recent ones was honey that you then whip in like a food processing, like a big mixer bowl
Yes.
thing, and it turns really frothy. And it just kind of adds a bunch of air into it. So there's all these little tiny air bubbles in the honey now.
Wow.
And it almost turns into like a buttery texture,
Okay.
which was really fascinating. But while we were watching it, that was one of the stats that came up on the TikTok was like shelf stable, doesn't go bad, and
You're
all
like,
these like
whoa.
things. And then,
I really wanted you to.
oh man. Well, there you go.
That's okay.
There you go. For those young listeners out there, tell your parents, see, TikTok can be a
Right,
beneficial
educational.
thing. It can be
You
educational.
can learn.
Oh,
Love
man.
it.
Well,
Very well done. I'm impressed.
I'm so sorry
Oh, that's okay.
that it didn't
That's
work
okay.
out for this one.
We'll
but
have
we're
a
gonna
rematch.
Grudge match.
But
I like
Karmen,
it.
you can go home and ask these questions. to
I
your
am.
family.
That's
I'm gonna
right.
ask my daughter because she watches TikTok all the time. So she knows.
That's exactly right. Oh my goodness. Well, Karmen, thank you so much
Of course.
for being on the show and really helping our listeners and me, honestly, understand a little bit more about how we can think about our finances coming into 2024 now. And how we can just set those goals. And again, I love how you put that. Those SMART goals. Again, measurable, data points that you can really look at and mark a progress. And you can look back on and you can see that. I think that's really, really key. So anyway, so great to have you on. Aldina,
Yes.
another episode in the bag here for
Oh
us.
my goodness.
First
What an
one of
exciting way to
2024.
start off 2024.
It was.
I'm just so grateful that you were here today.
I
and
love this topic.
to all of our listeners, I hope that you got something very insightful out of this episode and that you feel motivated to go out there and make a strong impact on your budget and your goals.
That's
Yes,
right. That's
yes.
right. Well, be sure to subscribe on our podcast. We're on Apple Music. We're on Spotify. We're on Amazon. We're in all the great places.
Yes.
But be sure to like us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. See, I still say Twitter. I'm not going to even say the other one. Instagram and LinkedIn, of course. We love to connect with our audiences and just learn more about what kinds of things matter to you when it comes to your financial wellness and your wallet wisdom, because we would love to help bring more topics that are important to you. So anyway, well, until next month.
See you.
Thanks for listening. The information provided in this podcast by Lake Michigan Credit Union is general education or marketing in nature and is not intended to be accounting, legal, tax, investment, financial, or other advice. Statements of individuals are their own, not LMCU's. All topics discussed are information of a general nature and do not address the circumstances of any particular individual or entity. Consult an appropriate professional concerning your specific situation. As of the date of publishing and any future date this podcast is broadcast, all rates, fees, payments, or other specific figures discussed are subject to change and are dependent upon your specific financial situation. All loan products discussed are subject to credit and collateral approval. You alone assume the sole responsibility of evaluating the merits and risks associated with the use of any information or other content in the podcast before making any decisions based on such information or other content. In exchange for listening to the podcast, you agree not to hold LMCU, its affiliates, or any third-party service providers liable for any possible claim for damages arising from any decision you make based on information or other content made available to you through the podcast. For more information on any of the content discussed in this podcast, please visit lmcu.org. Copyright Lake Michigan Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing lender. LMCU, NMLS ID number 442967.